Hello again, everybody. So, Kenzo's Workbench, episode 9. Holy moly. All right, so I'll do a little chatting on this one. As you can see, I have it sped up to like times 10, so you can see the whole thing, at least a little bit of it, without it taking 2 hours. I made Despara, and I made it out of Lovely Evil Horde. Got a nice 3D print of the mask, of the torso. I always loved the torso and the head for those. But in order to get the unmasked Despara, or the Adora version with the butch haircut, I used Teela. The Teela from Revelation, which I know I would never put on the head because I like the other head sculpt better. I didn't care for that hairstyle. So I took the hair off. I used some epoxy sculpt, and of course you can see I'm doing the same thing with the boots here. I did use more epoxy sculpt on this one than the projects that you've seen, at least the ones that I've shown before and after stuff. Epoxy sculpt is awesome. I think you can get it for 15-20 bucks on Amazon, and hold on, I want to take that echo away. But you can get it on Amazon, 15-20 bucks. It's a 2-part clay. You mix it together. It's an air dry. You don't have to put it in the oven or anything, and it takes a few hours. I usually just leave it overnight, let it dry. I don't mess with it until then, and so you can see some of the cuts in this are going to be one night to the next day. But so my project was, let me go back to my little parts here. So you can see there it was the Sorceress Origins arms. You had China's legs, so I basically almost used all of China in the last few projects. I still have her torso and arms, but I had the arms for, it was an extra sorceress, so I used those arms, put the little the little shield, their little wrist shields there. And so on this particular one, you can see down there I have the torso with the little shoulder pads. That one, I was going back and forth. I was going to use soft goods. I was going to use a soft cape. And then I realized I had some pretty cool prints with some capes. So I got on Mesh Mixer and I merged a cape from a She-Ra that I had seen. It was a She-Ra sculpt from, actually, I think it was LA Figures. And I took that cape and I added it to the torso. So I'm showing a little bit after I do this little mold. I show how I dremeled out the armhole, and I used my regular drill bit and kind of went a little deeper so I could put the arms in there. So there's the little drill bit, and then I used the Ryobi in there. But I didn't end up using that torso. I ended up printing another torso after I made the one with the cape. So if you see anything go, what the heck is going on here, that's what I did. So you can see the little mask down there on the left, right next to China's legs, and there you go, right there. So now I get into painting. Once I got everything going, I kind of put it together, made sure it worked, and then I started painting. So here we are, about almost 4 minutes in, and I finally, God, this thing was like it was like 2 hours before I sped it up. I did the airbrush for the gray. A lot of times with these, I know I am not doing it the exact way that it should be done, because I know a lot of people end up taking it all the way apart. But these are posable parts. I'm probably not going to play with it. So when I get it into a position, I'll do a little bit here and there, but for the most part, I'm just going to keep it in the position that I like. This one, you take Teela's hair off and she has no ear on the other side. So I tried my hand at sculpting an ear, and I failed miserably, and I forgot to put on camera what I actually did. I found I don't know if it was a Tony Stark head, like an extra head, or it was one of those heads I got from one of my Ross finds. And I actually ended up amputating the ear from that figure and then relocating it over to Teela's head, which ended up being Despara. So it might at the beginning show that I tried to sculpt. Yeah, that sculpt was bad. I need to practice on that a little bit. I'm okay with adding little things here and there, but and if you can see some of the parts here where I move out of frame, I apologize, because once I start getting into things, you know. But there's the second one I printed, and it's got the cape. So I used the airbrush for the red, and then I hand brushed everything else. So the airbrush parts of this piece are going to be the gray and then the red. Everything else I did by hand. And I did use a mixture of paints. A lot of it was of Vallejo. I did actually get some of the cheap stuff at Hobby Lobby. They actually have their own crafters brand, and it's like 50 cents or 60 cents, something like that. So if you are even getting started, or just, you know, want to practice or mess around with painting, or even if you're just, you know, into it anyway, that's cheap to get some paint, and it's thick, and it spreads pretty good. But I usually mix it with the Vallejo anyway, because I like kind of how the consistency of the Vallejo works. So here I am painting the stripes. There is that one set of stripes on the leg, and then I did some of the stripes on the arms also. This one I actually did get a little bit of soft goods. I got some kind of fake leather material. It's real thin, and I did make the little chapped sides, those little, you know, side pieces. So that's hanging off, covering her cheeks, I guess. And then the paint on the top was the black all the way through, and then has the red in the middle. So anyway, now that all this is babbling is going, what did you guys think about the movie or the show? Holy crap, Revolution. Revelation, I guess we'll say, I did not hate completely, because ultimately it was Masters of the Universe was back on the screen, regardless of what size the screen is. It's on the screen. The show in the beginning, the first session I didn't really care for. Second session I thought was okay, it was good. But once this started, it hit the ground running. Like when everybody, just bringing the stone people coming in, when Randor dies, of course, and all that happens, and it was a really good storyline. I liked how they tricked everybody. Of course that was going to happen, right? When you think of it, I still haven't gotten my figure yet from the KB Toy Store, but I'll wait a little bit longer, I guess. But Keldor was awesome. I really liked the acting. Of course, when you look at Shatner, he did really well. And I love the conflict. I kind of thought back of like the Dexter stuff when he's talking to his dad, his imaginary friend, you know, and I was like, that is too cool how they're kind of going back and forth. So the banter between those two was great. Yeah, everything was good about it. I loved it. I loved the special effects. I liked some of the new stuff they brought in, even if it was a really like the exact replica of the Hulk. What is it? Hulk Crusher or Hulk something, Hulk Smasher, whatever it is. It still was cool. I mean, there was nonstop action from episode 3 to 5, so I thought that was great as well. And I liked the ending. I mean, the cliffhanger. I liked, a lot of people didn't care the fact that that Evil Lynn was not evil anymore, and they didn't like that part. But it was kind of cool. I even those little parts in 2000X when you're kind of like, hey, she did kind of sway for a second, but not really. But anyway, so I just love the show. I've watched it probably 5 or 6 times already through. So while I paint, I kind of have it on in the background or something. So, but anyway, and then of course the project that I'm doing now, which was the last couple seconds. Ooh, look! Oh, messed up! Oh, dang it! I went too fast and touched the cheek. So what I did was I got my little X-Acto scraped off as much as I could, and then I just repainted over it with that off-white, the bone white. So anyway, so I know I'm going back and forth with these videos. Some of them I'm gonna do just sound with music, and then some I'll talk, I guess. Some of you guys like to hear my stupid voice. Anyway, yeah, so we're getting close to the end here. Once I finish this up, I go through, show everything, and then I start taking the... Whoa, look at that video. Holy cow. So here is our finished product, baby. I put it on my little sticker, and you got the rainbow sticker on there. But I thought the head came out great. That ear I amputated off somebody else fit perfectly. I made the 2 swords. I found them online. They had the Horde symbol on them, so I thought that was pretty cool. I made them a little smaller so they fit the female hand, and so I printed those 2 out. I didn't find the staff, but this is okay. So, but some of these still shots came out great, and then I took some with Hordak in there and some with Shadow Weaver and all that. So we've got probably about 10 seconds left, so I will shut my mouth and thank you guys for joining. Tell you to like, subscribe, and let me know what you thought in the comments, and we'll see you on the next one. Love you guys.